Hey guys, Tyler2K here. Today we're going to talk about a fairly mediocre move, and that move is up forward 2. For people who don't know, up forward 2 is one of two Victor homing attacks. That means regardless of which way Asusena steps, she will get hit. Otherwise, the move itself has pretty good range. And while it's safe on block, it's +7 on natural hit and has no special properties on counter hit. Now, unlike other homing attacks that typically cause a airborne spin state, we get Asusena to jump here. If I hit her with an option like back 4, we can confirm against airborne and then get a small combo against her. But unfortunately, if we hit Asusena with up forward 2, she's put into a kind of really quick floating state, and you see there in the bottom left corner of it being -11 for her or +11 for us. So +11 means that it's the frames before she's able to tech roll. So if we go for an option like, for instance, a 1 jab, she's too high in the air. Otherwise, down forward 1 is too slow because she's able to tech roll on the 11th frame. But if we're able to get Asusena into a -9 situation, such that her up forward 2 hits on the exact frame that their 10 frame hits on. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and put Asusena into a -9 situation. We're left at a +15. Now, this is a proper clean +15. So while the range isn't very great, we're unable to link it down forward 2. Forward 4 also misses, but we can get a long range 15, such as back 1+2. Notice how it is 100% unskilled damage. We're left in our heat engager. If we're by the wall, something very similar, of course, happens, where we get better use of that +15 situation. So let me go ahead and put Asusena at the wall, set up the exact same situation again, and now we're able to do whatever combo of your choice. Now, rather than focus on fringe -9 cases, of which Victor has none at all, let's talk about more practical examples. Anytime Victor is roughly -3 to -6 into full crouch, he has access to this option. For instance, generic full crouch down back 1. Down back 2 can be generically performed out of standing. An option like down 3, which you probably have better access to via a cancel, or via down 1, his ground dagger attack. Even if Asuka is to do a single 1 jab, notice the bottom left corner signifying a punish. Also, if Asuka is to do a different faster high option, the same thing happens. We're able to evade the incoming stand 4 and get the punish accordingly. That means regardless of our opponent's option, we're always going to evade their incoming single jab attack. It should also be noted that while we evade their incoming jab series, frames are still a thing, and we're doing a -6 into a 19 frame attack. It's no coincidence I showed you these 5 characters, where Asuka, Asusena, Jack, June, and Yoshi cannot use quick highs to challenge up forward 2. Of course, I'm not going to make a video on just 5 characters losing to this tech. I have something much more interesting to show you, and that's specifically against Mishima characters. If we do the same -6 into up forward 2 trap, we're left at a clean +15. And as already shown, we can take the +15 and go for a back 1+2 heat engager. Things get spicier at the wall, where a +15 allows for a down forward 2. But noticing scaling, back 1+2 is the superior option. But who said we have to use a +15? Instead, we can use up forward 1-1 on 13 to deal even more damage. But if you're a god of execution, you can use this instead. Now, interestingly enough, that's not the case for Devilchin, who's -13, meaning he can block back 1+2, although at the wall we can still link in the up forward 1-1. Now I have one more piece of tech for you, specifically against Mishimas as well. Instead of always going for a down 1 into up forward 2 kind of churn steal trade, we can do similar traps with a -3 situation against Mishimas. For instance, a 1-2 into up forward 2, or a 1-1 into up forward 2, giving us the clean +7. Now granted, we aren't left at +13 or +15, but this does set up perfectly another counter trap. For instance, down back 4, down back 3, or an often forgotten about trap such as 1-2-1. I have to warn you about 2 situations to look out for. We can evade incoming 10-frame punishers such as Elisa 1-1. But if your opponent goes for a more generic 1-2 instead, it perfectly interrupts our up 4-2 evasion. And while most characters have 1-2 to beat the up 4-2 tech, you'll typically find that most people will challenge with a single poke instead, giving us the evasion. The second disclaimer is more important. While against a character like Panda, we can use down 1 into up 4-2 to beat the incoming jab. If we're just a little bit closer, the same thing is not true and we'll get counter hit. This is really important to understand because characters like Panda and Kuma have a G-Cliff cannon, which means we get launch punished for going for such a trap. Otherwise, characters like Claudio will tend to use a 1-2 as it's a naturally strong option. The same is true for Harang. So I don't recommend this tech against any of those characters. And to recap the up 4-2 tech, up 4-2 beats one jab on almost every single character, and wins against most high options for these 5 characters, while against Mishimas can lead to full launcher, and against these 4 you typically don't want to use it at all.